Hey everyone, welcome to the second video in the photosynthesis series. In this video we're going to talk about the dark reactions, which is also called the Calvin cycle. And the whole purpose of this is to use the energy that was produced in the light reactions to create glucose. So remember, the products from the light reactions were ATP and NADPH. And these are high energy carriers. And these are high energy carriers from the light reactions. So electrons and protons, which were in the form of hydrogen ions, were used to create these energy molecules. So the energy is actually stored within them so that it can be used here. So the first step of the Calvin cycle deals with fixation of carbon dioxide. So we need to add in a total of 6 molecules of carbon dioxide because the formula for glucose is C6H12O6. Okay, so we need these 6 carbons brought in, and the way we do that is with carbon dioxide. So RUBP right here is a 5-carbon molecule that is recycled each time this cycle occurs. And it actually takes several turns of this cycle in order to build up our glucose. Okay, so it's actually going to take 6 turns. We're bringing in 6 total carbon dioxides, one at a time, to get these 6 carbons here. Now, the enzymes in this process are not very efficient. They're very, very slow, so we need a lot of the enzymes here to get this process moving so that we can make glucose. So once we have the carbon dioxide fixed with RUBP, that is going to become something called 3PG. Okay, so once we get our 3PG, that is going to become BPG, and these names aren't necessarily important, but it's important to understand that these are intermediates, and I'm showing you these so that we can see where energy is utilized. So in the step between 3PG and BPG, ATP is going to be utilized. So you have ATP entering, and then of course once the energy from ATP is used, we get ADP plus a phosphate. So that energy is used here to create BPG from 3PG. Then in the next step, we are going to take BPG and we are going to convert it into G3P. At this step, the NADPH is used. So we have NADPH that's transferring the energy, and of course NADPH is broken down into NADP plus a phosphate, and so the energy is utilized there as well. Now, if you think back to your notes, G3P is used in several different reactions. It can be used to form glucose. It can be used to form other carbohydrates such as starches. It can even be used to create fatty acids and amino acids. And those amino acids can be used to build up protein, and the fatty acids can be used to build up our lipids. However, G3P is also used to recycle back to RUBP, and this requires energy, so we're going to have ATP here again, and of course ATP gets broken down into ADP plus that phosphate. Now these ADPs and phosphates, as well as the NADP pluses and I'm sorry, that's the name is supposed to be a phosphate there. Let me erase that. This is not supposed to be plus P, it's supposed to be plus H plus. Sorry about that there. H plus. Okay. Now all of those molecules are recycled back to the light reactions so that they can be used to create more ATP and more NADPH. But now let's say we've done 6 turns of this Calvin cycle here. And after 6 turns of this, we're going to end up with 2 molecules of G3P. Now G3P is a 3-carbon molecule, so we actually need 2 of those. So this is going to take 6 turns of the cycle. Okay, so now we've dealt with our carbons. We've got our 6 carbons, but now we have to think about, where does this H12O6 come from? Now, if you think back to the equation for photosynthesis, we also need 6 molecules of water, H2O. And if you take the 6 times the 2, you get your 12, and 6 times 1 equals your 6. So water plus those 2 molecules of G3P, and we end up getting our molecule of glucose here. Now in the next video, we're going to talk about how that glucose is used in lesson 8, which is cellular respiration. So we'll talk about glycolysis, as that is the first step. All right, so I hope you understand this a little bit better, but let's really quickly review. Basically, you have your carbon dioxide fixation. So carbon dioxide is used, and we're going to need to do this 6 times in order to get our 6 carbon dioxides that appear right here. Okay, so carbon dioxide along with RUBP become 3PG. ATP is used here to get our BPG. NADPH is going to be used to get our G3P. Okay, and then G3P is going to be used 2 ways. It's going to be recycled to make RUBP, but then it can also be kicked out of the cycle. And in the case that we talked about, 2 molecules of G3P plus 6 molecules of water make up our glucose, and that is the prize of photosynthesis. This is why our autotrophs, our plants, and anything else that can do photosynthesis, such as cyanobacteria and algae, this is why they are our primary food source on this planet.